Hi guys, it's Lauren and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I just want to have a little bit of chat about my travel plans and kind of how I've looked at it positively during this time. So I'm going to get straight into it. Unfortunately, due to the situation that we're in at the moment, we've all lost out on something that we've been really looking forward to. Some of you may have remembered or may know that myself and my boyfriend were due to go on pretty much a trip of a lifetime for us for 3.5 months. We were due to go next week when you're actually watching this, so the 29th of April. And yeah, obviously we can't go now. And of course rightly so, but it has been hard to accept it, I suppose, or to not accept it, but maybe just to come to terms with it a little bit. I'm fully aware that there is people in worse situations than me, and like everyone has lost something to this. So for those of you who don't know, myself and my boyfriend were going away for 3.5 months to Asia. So we were starting in Japan and we were going to China, which had been taken off the list when COVID broke out. So we were skipping China, so we were going to Japan, then going to go straight to Vietnam instead of China, then Thailand, Cambodia, Singapore, and ending up in Bali. And in total it was going to be 3.5 months. It's something that we have worked towards for the past year. It's something we have thought of since we kind of maybe for the last 2 years, and the second we finished college we both went into jobs specifically to save to go on this trip. So yeah, it's literally been our whole world for the last year, and now we can't go. But I suppose what I want to talk about today was how I've kind of come out of it and how I've changed my mindset to be more positive about it. First of all, we got all of our money back, and if it wasn't money it was vouchers for our flights and stuff. So obviously that was the first main positive. Like, we are so fortunate and so lucky and so grateful that we were able to get all that back. Also, I think for us it was a good thing that we hadn't gone, and we hadn't started our journey yet, and we hadn't got a taste for it. So it was still a dream for us, and it was still something that was going to come into reality, but something we were working towards. So that's the first thing, is that we focused on how lucky we were to have all of our money back, which meant we could go and still do the trip that we wanted to do fully. Another thing was that we're looking like, okay, now China is most likely going to be back on the trip, so whenever it is that we do get to go, we're going to be doing the trip that we had wanted to do when we first came up with this idea 1.5 to 2 years ago. Other than that, I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason, and I really do think that, as much, like, obviously this is not the reason you would want, or this is not the situation that you would want to give you this, but now obviously just wasn't the right time for us to go. And the more I look into myself and into like my inside feelings, I don't think now is the right time for me to go. I have discovered that I was putting an awful lot of weight and an awful lot of expectations on this trip. I had got into my head that I was going to find the answers that I needed for the rest of my life, and I was going to discover what it was I wanted to do career-wise, and I was going to come home with all these answers and just know exactly what I wanted to do and exactly the path I was going to take. And honestly, I think if we had been going next week, I would have been disappointed, and that's nothing to do with where I was going or anything like that. That it was literally just in myself that I was putting so much emphasis that this trip was going to give me the answers, that I would not have found those answers because I was searching for them and expecting them, and then I would have come home and been like, oh yeah, it was great, but I'm still clueless. I still don't know what it is I want to do. And that's like, you can't save up and work so hard to get this. Literally, it's a trip of a lifetime, and we know that, to then waste it because I was putting so much weight on getting answers for something. So I personally think that now, you know what, I wasn't in the right place to go on this trip. I need to be going on this trip without any expectations and just fully immersing myself on how lucky I am to get to go on a trip like that, and then of like the cultures and the places I'm getting to see, and just the experiences I'm getting to walk down a street I've never walked down before, and I don't know if I'll get to walk down again. And I would have been just constantly searching for these answers if I had have been going next week. So I think that's what I've done, is I've really kind of focused and been like, and I've talked about this with my boyfriend, and like he's completely agreed with me, and we both do think like when we do go, it will be the right time for us. And he was the one who kind of as well like enlightened me to the fact that maybe I was putting too much weight on this trip, and the more I thought about it, I was like, I was absolutely. Another thing as well is that I'm such a planner. Like I have my whole life planned, you know, and if things don't go the way I envision them happening, I get a little bit disheartened, and that can have a knock effect on me, my mood, my motivation, all that type of stuff. And I was convinced that, like, you know, when I was over there, I was going to be so easygoing and so go with the flow kind of person. And you know what, if we didn't like a place, we'd just get up and leave, and if we did like a place, we'd just say let's add some extra days, and that's what we should be doing on a trip like that. But I was like, oh no, I'll do that when I'm there. Yet when we were trying to book flights and it wasn't easily done, I was losing the plot, and I was getting really stressed, and I was just getting into bad humor or just really stressed. And like, how would I have been, if that was me over flights, how was I going to be able to be this easygoing, like relaxed girl when I was there, you know? So I think, again, unfortunately, this isn't the situation that you would want to happen, to have to open my eyes to it. But from this situation, I realized, you know what, I might have the plan, but that doesn't mean the world has the same plan for me. And at the end of the day, I can control my life, but if something comes along, I can't control that effect that it has on me and my life. So yes, I can plan until my heart's content, and I do think it's good to have a plan, but you know, the world might have a different plan for you, and that's what's after happening here. I was like, oh, of course this is going to happen, of course we're going to go on this great trip, but you know what, the world has come to a stop, and that wasn't the plan for the moment. I now think, as a result of that, I understand that yes, I can plan and I should plan, but if something comes along that's going to interrupt that plan, I can't get really stressed and get really disheartened and really down, because that's life, you know, that is just life. So I think I will be more prepared, and I will be that easygoing, go with the flow kind of girl when I am on the trip, because I've seen how easily the trip has been up and lifted to another unknown time. As I said, as much as this isn't like the nicest circumstances to be under to realize these things, I think I have come to terms with it, and I've definitely accepted that, and I'm not upset about it, and neither is my boyfriend. Like, yes, we're disappointed, and yes, probably when next week comes, we will be a bit like, yeah, we were supposed to be in Dublin Airport with a big rucksack on our back ready to go. We know we will get there, and I think, or I know when we go, we'll obviously appreciate it way more, and as everyone will with everything, and that I won't be expecting anything from the trip. I now have these months now to figure out what it is I want to do, and to try new things, to see if maybe they'll give me the answer of what I want to do. I just wanted to come on and have a chat about it. I said, I'm not sure if anyone was really remembered or if they were interested in it, but I do have like obviously friends and family who are asking me like, what's the situation? And of course, like, the situation is nobody is going anywhere, and that's just the reality of it. But that's where we stand. It's okay to have your tears and your down days, and everyone's entitled to them and everyone deserves them, and don't beat yourself up over them, but do try and just change your mindset on things. That's the most important thing to do in this whole grand scheme of things, is change your mindset, and that's going to stand with you for the rest of your life. So yeah, speaking of me not knowing what I want to do, I don't know whether to make that into like a little mini kind of series on this, and kind of get you guys to come with me while I discover what it is I want to do. So maybe let me know in the comments if that's something that you would like me to do. And yeah, I hope everyone is keeping really well and really safe and looking after themselves, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.